Buyer seller dynamic. It's important. It's an advanced concept, but if you don't get this, that's where all your problem comes from. When I say problem, meaning that you know how you get stumped on the price, meaning that maybe like you sell something for like $30. You're like, oh, that's cheap. People like it. But people keep telling you, oh, can you do 20? Can you do 10? And you're like, no, it's a $10 video. Like, come on. Like, come on. But if you get this right, what's gonna happen is you can have them unlock a picture for $150 because of the dynamic. When one person is a buyer or seller, just because you're selling something doesn't mean the person who buys have all the power. And you need to understand how to flip it. You know how to flip it, then you can sell the one I'm talking about. You can unlock a picture for $150, or you can sell a 43-second sexting video that you don't is not naked for $50. And how do you flip the buyer seller dynamic? How do you flip it where they are trying to convince you to unlock your content? You need to make it a scarcity, right? You got to make yourself appear scarce. You are going to also have to increase the desire that they have for you. So you got to ask probing questions, right? I always use it as an example. Let's say you just ask them like a simple question like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they say, "Oh, I'm from Texas." They say you are from Texas, that they're from Texas, and then you can say something like, "Hey, are there a lot of women like me in Texas?" And usually when you say that, they'll be like, "Oh no, you're beautiful. There's no girls like you in Texas. That's why I subscribe to you only OF because you are unique." Da, 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 da. So that you are making them convincing themselves why you are unique, and if they convince themselves why you are unique, all of a sudden they like you more because they're convincing themselves. They're saying words in their own mind, be like, "Oh, she's unique. She's unique. She's unique. There's not many girls in Texas like her. She's unique. She's unique. She's unique." And when you're unique, what would they do? They want to convince you why you should let them buy the sexting videos, the custom or whatever it may be. And when you get that down, you can be like, fine, I will do it, but I don't really usually do this, but because you're so nice and you're so persistent, and I feel like we have chemistry, I can do it. Maybe your first time, maybe a $200 custom. And usually, even though if they actually don't have money, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I really don't have money. Can you do it like a little bit cheaper for me?" And you don't have to go. Then now they're convincing you, can you go cheaper? Instead of be like, "Hey, can you go cheaper?" Do you see the idea there? So it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I really don't have $200. Maybe 150." And you're like, I can't really do 150. But since you asked nicely, I'll give you 170." And usually they'll be bluffing. Usually they'll find a way to get 170. But you can only do that when you get the buyer seller dynamic down. Where you make how do you do it? The conclusion is how do you make them how do you flip the buyer seller dynamic where they're convincing you to get your service or buy your videos is to make them talk about their desire of you and make them convince themselves by asking probing questions why they like you and why you are unique. So this is buyer-seller dynamic is rather advanced concept, but when you get this, whew, the chatting will be way better, and will have a way better experience as a creator, as a chatting, and when you're chatting to your fans because they're not gonna try to stomp you on the price because it doesn't feel good when someone just you give them a discount with instead of $50 for like $50 for a 10-minute video, even though it's pre-made, it just feels bad. It just doesn't feel good when they keep like, "Oh, can you do it for 30?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay, 30." And then, "Oh, actually, can you do it for 20?" It just doesn't feel good like this. So get this down. It's advanced. It might be a little bit hard to grasp at the start, but you get this, you'll make so much money. Really important. That's why I talk about it here. Buyer-seller dynamic. Get that.